아버지,
어머니,
어머니,
사랑합니다.
사랑합니다.
In this video, we will be exploring the role of fishing tournaments in relation to ocean providence and world peace and unification. True Parents began hosting fishing tournaments in the United States in 1981, and since then established multiple large annually held events including the Alaska King Salmon Fishing Tournament from 1993, the Hudson River Striped Bass Fishing Tournament to celebrate True Parents' Holy Wedding Anniversary from 2000, the Peace King Cup Fishing Tournament, held in various locations throughout the world, from 2001. What was the purpose behind these events? According to Father's words, tournaments are to support the ocean providence in the three following ways. 1. Raising people for the ocean era. 2. Gaining social support. And 3. Bringing people together in peace. Let's discuss. 1. Raising people for the ocean era. True Father looked to utilize the fishing tournaments as a place to train members, where people can learn valuable skills for leadership and cooperation from. It was where members had to take what they learned in workshops and apply it in a competitive setting with determination to win. Tournaments also served as a connection point between ocean providence and the public. Through hosting these tournaments for the general public, True Father had the opportunity to introduce fishing and ocean training to them. This was especially important for the sake of solving world hunger, as one of Father's goals was to teach and spread fishing skills that can help overcome hunger. He said, "I will hold a fishing tournament. Bring American women who will teach fishing to all of the local mothers in underdeveloped nations. If you teach fishing to those mothers dying of hunger, they will not starve to death no matter where they go. All they will need is water and land." Pacific Rim, Providence, Chapter 2, You will not die of hunger if you learn to fish. Father often explained his experiences as a fisherman and talked of the thrill and excitement that came with the activity. He looked to harness this excitement and share it with the many people who would join. He said, "After catching such a huge fish, I felt better than a World War II general might feel after winning a battle. You cannot know such a feeling unless you have experienced it." Temple Book 10, Chapter 2, Section 2, Gloucester, July 11, 1987. Through these exciting competition-style fishing events held around the world, True Father attracted people to spread and teach the necessary skills needed to become the leaders of the ocean era and to overcome hunger. 2. Gaining social support. True Father also sought the support of influential groups of people in the world, upper class, governments, major corporations, by holding these events. He saw that through large-scale tournaments and the attractive hobby of fishing, such social support could be gained effectively. He said, "If we sponsor tournaments in 5 places around the world, that is $500,000 in prizes. That investment will lure tens of thousands of influential people. Their boats are capable of crossing the Atlantic or Pacific, going from one tournament to another." Once this plan has momentum, the government will have to be supportive, and they will organize all the necessary supplies. Also, since there are already many marine facilities around the world, we will create a system so that the major vessels can provide fuel to the sports fishermen. The tournament fleet will be moving from one ocean to another, with an oil tanker accompanying it. The major corporations of the world will want to participate because the worldwide publicity will be so great. Imagine tens of thousands of boats coming to Gloucester for the competition. They will bring tremendous prosperity to that small sea town. God's Will of the Ocean, Chapter 1, The Way of the Tuna. 3. Bringing people together in peace. True Father saw fishing tournaments as a tool to bring people together in peace. Father understood that tournaments and sports events in general were effective ways to create an atmosphere of harmony, peace, and joy, even amidst conflict and tension. He said, "Working with the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, the UN Refugee Agency, we held a soccer tournament for young people in Liberia. The children of this war-torn country gathered together to play soccer and sing songs of peace. In the process of kicking the ball around, they were learning skills of teamwork and fair play that are necessary for bringing harmony between tribes. As a peace-loving global citizen, cultural projects express God's creativity, page 298. Through fishing tournaments, true parents wanted people to be able to come together and unite. Despite national differences, the tournaments were a place to overcome nationalism and national boundaries by coming and fishing together for a greater purpose. True Father said, "If our leaders can set up and coordinate fishing venues for people living in villages at the far ends of the world, they too can participate in the fishing tournament. In this way, people from all over the world can compete, just as in the Olympics. Since you participants represent your own nations, this might create barriers of national pride during the tournament. However, you must unite. In fact, you need to build such a spirit of unity here that you will unite even more tightly after the competition is over. Before you came, you Japanese, Korean, and Americans were historically enemies to one another. Here, during this fishing tournament, you must break down such barriers." Champumogyong Book 10, Chapter 2, Section 5, Fishing Tournaments. August 18, 2001. True parents had hoped to establish a tradition of peace centering on the ocean and hobby. In the ocean era, where the ocean presented the key solution to the hunger problem, uniting the fishermen of the world was essential. It is through hobby fishing tournaments that these people were able to come together in the past with true parents. True Father said, "I am establishing a new tradition for the sake of the Peace UN and the Peace Kingdom, a tradition that does not exist in this world. The 2003 Yosu Fishing World Cup has such significance. It can trigger a great heavenly explosion that will have more impact than the Yosu Suncheon incident." Champumogyong Book 10, Chapter 2, Section 5, Fishing Tournaments, October 21, 2003. Let's summarize True Parents' vision for fishing tournaments. True Parents held fishing tournaments all over the world to help further the ocean providence, a plan to bring substantial peace and unity in the following ways that have been discussed. 1. Raising people for the ocean era. 2. Gaining social support. And 3. Bringing people together in peace. True Parents plan to hold fishing tournaments throughout the world, teaching fishing to overcome hunger, gaining support for the cause, and uniting people in peace. It is this goal for peace that we must keep in mind, and it is important that we realize this vision True Parents had for fishing tournaments. True Father said, "In the future, I will host a fishing tournament in the style of the Olympic Games. There are 400 million people in the world who fish. You can fish from the time you are 5 years old until you grow old and die. You are never too old to fish. Many people fish as a hobby or for pleasure. There's nothing more enjoyable. This is why I'm going to create an Olympic-style fishing tournament." Champumogyong Chapter 2, Section 5, Fishing Tournaments, August 18, 2001. In recent years, the fishing tournaments we hold are mostly exclusively for members and are held on a local scale, but we should look to eventually grow them to the scale similar to those held in the past and much more. Let us continue the fishing tournament tradition so that we may eventually achieve the vision that True Parents had for it. For more detailed information, check out the links in the description below.